Yo, what's going on, everybody out there? This is Popular Stranger, and I'm back today with another MLB 14 The Show Diamond Dynasty gameplay. We've had quite a streak of online gameplays for you guys. As I've stated before, I know you guys prefer these over the extra innings game mode. So here it is, and I actually got one more in the vault that I'll be bringing to you guys next week. But this one is an absolutely high-scoring, lot of runs-scoring game. So if you're into that stuff, I think you will enjoy the gameplay. And we're going to continue on today with our Tops Bunt Tips for Noobs series. This would be episode or volume number 3. If you missed the previous ones, make sure you check out my video history, check out my Diamond Dynasty playlist. You can catch them on there. So the first one was just a brief introduction into what the app is and what you can do. And so in this episode, I'm going to be talking about playing for points and tips and strategies that I use when I play for points, because one of the most, the absolutely most common question I always get is, how do you get so many coins? So I'll talk about that. And then the other question is, how do you get so many points? Now, when I first started this thing out, I kind of learned it all by myself. Just kind of trial by error thing that I figured things out with. And the biggest mistake that people make, and when people used to send me their lineups on Twitter, I would point it out as much as I could, but it was always kind of difficult to explain it in 140 characters. But when you play for points, well, let me back up and rewind. So you get all these nice, cool cards, right? For those of you that have no idea what I'm talking about. And you can think of it as like fantasy baseball. You can use those cards every day and put them in a lineup, and you get points based on how they perform for that given day. Now, moving forward to what I was talking about, the biggest mistake or thing that people don't know is that you can play multiple cards per day. You don't just go into the day with just one lineup. And that's a mistake I made at first. I would just put in, these 9 guys for the whole day. And I was wondering, I'm thinking I got a couple thousand points. Why am I not moving up on the leaderboard? Well, little did I know is that you can swap in and out. And that's why you have a section towards the top of your device that says number of plays, and it starts off at 50. And you'll notice that it goes down when you put in a card, but then it eventually refreshes. I don't know the exact time limit. I think it's like every 75 or 100 seconds, it refreshes. Look at that home run. Robinson Cano, pretty good the last couple games for me. So, but yeah, man, you can swap in and out. So again, you don't want just one lineup for the whole day. I'll give you an example for yesterday, Thursday afternoon. And Thursday all day. And usually Wednesdays and Thursdays are good days for this. There's day games and then night games. So Thursday afternoon at 12:30, I went with 9 George Zimmerman cards. And then at 1 o'clock, when the Yankees and Tigers started up, I put in 9 Porcellos. And then I believe Willie Peralta was pitching for the Brewers. So around 2 or 3 o'clock, you could have threw him in. And then David Robertson came in for the Yankees to close the game, and I threw a bunch of him in just for that one inning. So you can change dynamically throughout the day. And then when the 7 o'clock games come up, you're going to put in a whole new set of guys. And you can just keep swapping until you run out of plays. I very rarely run out of plays per day. Sometimes when I'm up late watching the 10 o'clock West Coast games, and 2 pitchers are going at the same time. I can't remember what game it was I was watching earlier this week, but it was the Dodgers. I believe the Dodgers and Angels, when it was Greinke and Richards from the Angels. I was swapping them in and out every inning until I ran out of plays, and I was able to do that all the way up to about the 6th inning. So that's a really good strategy. So there's tons of different tiers of cards. We've talked about this before. Inserts really don't score for you. I mean, they do, but most of the time your inserts aren't the super rare variety, which means they don't score as high as possible. So super rare is also known as gold, and that's the highest scoring type of card. So the more gold cards you can get, the better it is. And then pitchers, and this is kind of as of late. They did switch the point system up. It was heavily favored by pitchers in the past. Now it's a little more balanced, but for me personally, I still find that putting in pitchers to score points is the way to go. Just because they're in there more often, they're in there for a whole inning. They get 50 points. This is a gold card I'm speaking of. Get 50 points for a strikeout, 20 points for an out. So, and they're in there for a full inning. Whereas a batter, you know, it's a high risk but a high reward. So if you put a batter in there and he hits a home run, he's going to rack up points for you, but he's only in there just for that one at bat, and then he can get some points playing defense, but you know, it's not often that they're going to do a lot of that. Now, if you're looking for positional players that score a lot, personally, I've had a lot of success with first baseman. Adam LaRoche from the Nationals is one of my favorites. And Edwin Encarnacion, however the hell you pronounce his name. Before he got hurt, he was a big-time point scorer for me. Anthony Rizzo, Paul Goldschmidt, who I believe also just recently got hurt. So first baseman, second baseman, shortstops, mostly infielders. I say outfielders don't really score as much, but when you get a guy like Mike Trout or Andrew McCutchen, which those cards are absolutely easy to get a hold of as far as their golds, those guys can score a lot as well. But again, pitching is the way to go. And this kind of sneaks into another tip as far as trading goes, guys, and I get these ridiculous offers all the time. Don't offer people a bunch of crappy, you know, red and green hitters for a gold pitcher. People aren't going to accept that. It's going to hurt your star rating when it comes to trading. Just don't waste anybody's time. I get terrible trade offers all the time. You guys see me post them on Twitter. Just always keep in mind when it comes to trading, pitchers are above batters, and it's always quality over quantity. So just because you send me 9 common cards doesn't mean I'm going to give you one really good gold card. I get absolutely ridiculous trade offers every day, but I'm not going to talk about that. So if you have any other questions about playing for points, please hit me up on Twitter. I'm very interactive with all you guys. There's tons of people that can probably vouch for me on that. I usually respond to every question I see. So playing for points, what does it do? Well, the week goes from Monday to Sunday, and you get ranked, and you can see that right on your front screen homepage of the app. And they just added a 7th category, so if you finish in the top 5,000 now, you're going to win some coins at the end of the week and a best of Bunt card. The higher you finish, the more rare card you get. I believe the prize breakdowns are 1st through 10, 10 through 20, or 11 through 24, 25 through 50, 51 through 100, and then 101 to 499, and 500 to 1,000. And now they're adding 1,001 to 5,000. So it's really not that difficult. You could honestly play with all red or silver cards a whole week and still place in the top 1,000. But it's a good coin reward. I usually get about 6,000 coins every week and a best of Bunt card. So it's worth it to me. Again, hit me up on Twitter if you got any questions. I'm out. Peace.